Recording. Okay, Fabrizio, please. How it happens the idea to make the festival, the circus festival in Fossano?
Well, the idea started in '89. The idea was to build a place to interact with Europe and to find the money to support Italian artists. And then it evolved, and we changed the national law. We helped writing regional law on street theater and circus, and then we went for the festival. Why? Because a festival has a huge impact, and you can use this impact to change culture and change how circus is seen in Italy.
Okay, and why Fossano?
For three main reasons. Fossano, till 1600, was at the center of all communication of Piemonte and northern Italy. It was the city of Principi degli Acaia. Very important because it's very close to the sea, very close to France, very close to Torino, and it's a main knot of communication. Then, so it was very useful to be so close to everything. It was a point of passage. The second reason is that Fossano is a historically city that is still intact. It's a beautiful Baroque city, and no changes were done, and other places were destroyed or built in the 60s. And Fossano was left really, really intact, which is magic. And he has a square structure, so foreign people coming won't lose. It's very easy to orient in Fossano. And the other very strong characteristic, it has many plazas, many squares that are acoustically insulated one of the other, mainly because the buildings have 2 meters walls, and they are very, very not transmitting the sound. So you can use all these spaces to build a festival easy to live. And the third reason was that in Fossano there was nothing happening. There was a historic palio, very beautiful for 3,000 people, but that was all. I live actually in, close to Alba, which is a very active place, and there's a lot of festivals, a lot of manifestation. So it's impossible to start something that is not recognized yet in a place where other things happen. You will be a drop in the sea. Instead, here it was very easy to become the main event, and from that to start working to change the perception of circus arts all around you and extending it around.
Cool. And tell me, how do you guys make the selection of the shows to the festival?
There's not really a selection of the show. There's a selection of projects, of ideas. So we mainly act on either European structures of partenariati, partners, and or interesting projects we hear or we support directly. And we host presentations of projects. For example, one typical example is Sisters. Clockwork was Circus Next project we selected with Circus Next. Then we host a presentation last year, and then we host the show. And this can go also on for many years, for 3-4 years. So people understand the evolution of the show and can appreciate the work behind it. And then there are some shows we see around, but very, very few, that we just see and we got in love with it. Marathon is one example. I saw it in Chalon. It's practically the only show that was completely outside this kind of process of support anyway, we like to know to get in contact with the process of creation. That's a condition to be at the festival. Then, with some exceptions, it's different.
Okay, and tell me, how do you analyze the festival this year in terms of public and the press, comparing to the other years?
Haha, that's a very hard question because this year we had about 14 different reasons that alone could be enough to cancel the festival. It was a very, very critical year with a lot of problems, but it was an important year because this was the year where really the acknowledgement of what circus can be started to become at political level and intellectual level more easy to pass. So it was important to do it. And also this was the year of the election of the major, in which one of the person applying for major was really making his campaign on culture and on Mirabilia. So we couldn't let him down. We couldn't maybe win the election and then Mirabilia was not there. So we had to do it in any way. What happened? We started with communication very, very late. We had organizative problems, and this didn't help at all, but not even a little bit. It was very, very difficult. On the other side, I think there are some main important things. I think the meeting of the network of magazine is very important and is starting to structure itself. So now that it's something we do since 3 years ago, it's something that it's not only done because of the idea, but can even start to give to the festival visibility. Because people is coming here and to see what happens, and which is very important because we are in Italy. And Italy, 8 years ago when we started, there was two companies of contemporary circus, and it was mainly companies for children. I made shows for children for 25 years. And so it was important to give visibility to things that happen all over Italy, also if they are few and they are starting and they are difficult to do. And this is one of them, so it was important to have them. On the other side, we finally found a very good press office working in really in the esprit, in the spirit of the festival. And this will, the fact that they came very late, 1 month before the festival, to work with us in substitution of somebody else, it was a problem on communication, but it made a team. They saw the festival, they fall in love with it, and they will be on it. So about communication, well, we didn't communicate much this year. What we communicated, we didn't communicate it quite well till this week, but it's now a different way of communication, and it's beautiful.
Okay, and who gives support to the festival?
Actually, support is we make 18 applications for funding each year. Each one is different, has a different budget, a different project. It's very complicated to make 18. We would like to make less one day or the other. But we have funding from circus in the Ministry of Culture, from theater of the Ministry of Culture, and probably from dance of the Ministry of Culture. Then we have the region Piemonte, which is really believing in the project. And this year, for the first time, very probably we will have funding also for dance, so double funding. And then we have one of the most important bank foundations, Compagnia of San Paolo, which is one of the very few bank foundations that make cultural politic. They think what they do, they plan what they do, and they act subsequently, like the European Council makes. So they plan ahead for years, and they see what the results are. And they are our main funders. And then all the rest, the major of Fossano, the Bank of Fossano, who are believing on the project since it starts, and they had the courage not to cut, never, in a country where everything was cut down to zero. And this was very important, which is because it's the base for building other things. But mainly also we get funding for activities, cooperation activities by the European Union, which is the glue, I think, for all the festival, because you saw it's a very international and very European festival, because it's based on many European projects. And also where it's not based on projects, it's made the same way as to make cooperation. Most of the shows you saw are partnerships with other European partners without European money, but it's important to work together, to think together, and to cooperate. So we do it anyway, and we don't even present projects. And that is also the European connection, the European exchange. It was the festival seeks for. The two main objectives of the festival are to develop residency and the concept of creation in Italy, and on the other side to connect Italy to Europe. So we are working on that very hard, and it starts to work.
Cool. And tell me, why are you thinking in changing the festival to another country? And why is it happening? Is something happening in Fossano or just the extra tour?
Well, it's a double level thing. In the sense, we worked for about now 20 years, 29 years to make this festival. Since the idea was born in '89, and we invested a lot, all our lives, all our money, everything. And it would be a failure, a total failure of a full entire life to go away from Fossano. Okay. But on the other side, if the conditions to develop this, because this is only a step. When we started, we had plans for 10 years, and we know where we will go in 2018, exactly how we will make the festival, what we will do. So, if there were not the conditions to go on this project, it will be a bigger failure at the end. So we had to say at a certain point, either we get the opportunity to keep on expanding the project, or we just go away to some country where the idea we have and the way of developing is more appreciated. And there are some Nordic countries that are very interested in some of our aspects, especially on Circus Next and on other things. We are partners or we do. And well, this was coincident with the elections of the mayor of Fossano, and I respect greatly what Avignon did. I think it's the time culture takes his risk. You make choices and you risk to end your job, definitely, because if you lose, you're out, you're finished, or to really develop in something else. It's the moment to tell things and to do them. And so for us it was very important. We came out with an article and that was saying either we go in this direction or we leave and we go somewhere else where they give us at least the money to do things. and we don't have to invest our money every year.
Cool, cool. Okay, the last one. And which are the best moments that you faced and in the organization of the festival, and the difficult ones, in your opinion?
Well, let's start with the difficult ones. 5 days of rain is the most terrible thing that can happen to a festival before starting. I always thought the worst was the rain on the festival. The rain of the festival is not a problem anymore for me. I'm not scared of rain anymore from now on. Because if it rains, okay, some shows are cancelled, some others are made, people is less, but everything goes anyway. But if it rains before, in a country where normally it doesn't rain at all in June, and it's very hot, that stops all the festival, and the festival risks cancellation. And when the sun comes, the day you start the festival, people won't even understand why you are cancelling things, and why technicians are sleeping 2 hours per night, and everybody's getting crazy. And also it's very difficult to make to understand other people what is the festival if they didn't see it. For example, with the catering, we spoke a lot, but they didn't at all understand the situation we were bringing them. So the catering was a disaster, and it will be a really problem on the international image of the festival. You come to Italy, at least, if you have technicians looking at you with red eyes and destroyed and people getting crazy, etc., at least you eat well. If you don't even eat well in Italy, the festival has a big international problem. Well, those are the worst things of the festival, the most difficult moments. The best moments were seeing the faces of people that already know the festival, the smiles of the city, everybody is smiling, the ambience. That was saves the festival this year. Really, it's like 4 days of magic. You live in a dream also between all the problems there were. And what was even more beautiful was seeing people that never had come to the festival, that I called friends, a lot of people that I wanted to at the festival for years and years. And this year they came and they said, I didn't know it was something like that. I won't leave, I was going to stay 3 hours, I will stay till Monday morning. And also seeing the smiles Saturday and Sunday, before they weren't smiling much, on all the staff and all the new people that are composing the staff and the press office and their help. They'll really will to help something they didn't even imagine it existed. That is the most important part, to get that emotion.
Fabrizio, thank you very much for your interview. You're a very nice guy, and we really hope you guys to have all the success that you deserve. For us, it's just pretty cool. I agree completely with you. The smiles, the people in the streets were something to notice. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you.
O que ele falou de São Paulo?